Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, start of a new week, and it's time for some more March of the Machine Commander deck techs. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, or if you aren't going to hit the like button and you hit the unlike button, leave me a comment, tell me why you didn't like this video. Or just leave me comments anywhere, I'll respond to all of them. So, anyway, today's one is one of the ones that I think everyone's been waiting for this particular series of cards to be completed. Let's use that word, shall we? I think everyone's a bit surprised when they saw this come out. I don't think a lot of people expected it to be doing this, but it is done this, and this is the one that we're talking about today. Probably gave a bit away, with the completed set, but we're talking about Omnath, Locus of all today. Wooburg, or blue, white, blue, red, and green, and 2 life if you don't want to play the black mana. For a legendary creature, Phyrexian Elemental. If you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes black instead. I'm not interested in that ability at the moment. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to be the CEDH version of this deck. I'm more interested in the second ability. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card if it has 3 or more coloured mana symbols in its mana cost. If you do, add 3 mana in any combination of its colours and put it into your hand. If you don't reveal it, put it into your hand. So you either get the mana to cast it, or you just get the card. So it's an extra card draw. Now, I just like to have some fun with this. I'm not going to say this deck is going to be anywhere near a competitive level, but I really want to try and abuse the whole let's have some free mana at the beginning of combat each turn and see what we can do with it. So, as usual, this deck is slightly different because I did look at some of the cards from March of the Machines that have been released, and I've included a few of them which I'll talk about when I go through the deck tech. But again, as usual, for these decks at the moment, it is mainly looking at the cards that are already out there in MTG world, especially on MTGO. So, this is where we're going today. So, today's deck looks very much like this. So obviously, we've got Omnath in. You're going to have it in. I have no idea why MTG Goldfish has picked up this one, but it has. Because of what I'm trying to do, Gigantha seemed like a no-brainer for this deck. Now, I'm going to say now, just before we go any further, actually, 153 tickets on MTGO. It's a lot more expensive than it usually is, but there's a few cards you can take out which make it cheaper. 500 quid on the tabletop, so it's not the worst one I've done recently. But for MTGO it's a bit pricey, but I'll point out the cards we can take out as we go along. So yeah, Gigantha's in. It makes sense in this deck. We are playing cards with at least, on the whole, 3 lots of mana, 3 different mana symbols in them, and this, once we can get it from our companion zone, for want of a better phrase, into our hand and into play, and get it so it's not got summoning sickness anymore, it does kind of help us pay those costs as we go along, so bear that in mind. Anyway, let's go. So, Animar, Soul of Elements. Might as well have this in here because we are casting a lot of creatures. There's 22 in the deck, so, and make our creatures cheaper as things go along really does help, because Omnath gives us the coloured mana, then it leaves us all the colourless mana to deal with. This helps us get around it a little bit. The first one of the new cards that you haven't seen yet, Goro Goro and Sator. When one or more creatures enter you control that enters the battlefield this turn, deal combat damage to a player, create a 5/5 red dragon spirit creature token. That's fine, but it's really here to give everything haste. 1 and a red, everything gets haste until the end of the turn. Seems like a really good payoff for this card. Plus the fact, if you reveal it, you can pay it for free, basically. Seems like a plan to me. The first card, Rafine the Schemer. There's a lot of Streets of New Capenna stuff in here. This is one of the more expensive ones you can take out if you don't want to spend that many tickets, by the way. We all know what it does. And then we've got Toulouse, the Clever Conductor. I thought we'd have this in as well, just so we can get some cards back if things go pear-shaped. Alia, the Artful Provocateur's in as well. Other creatures with flying get +1/+0, and whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment, get a fairy token. We do have a few artifacts and a few enchantments coming up, so anyway, carrying on. So Toulouse, Alia, the original Atraxas here, just has got Death Touch, flying, lifelink, vigilance. Proliferate could be relevant, but probably not likely to be too relevant, but it's here. Lightning Angel's in, because it costs us 1 mana. Basically, once we've got Omnath in play for a flying vigilance haste creature that flies. And Marchesa. I figured Marchesa would be a bit of a laugh in this deck. Have a bit of dethroning going on as well. Nicobolus Ravager. It was a sneaky way of getting a Nicobolus in, because this version of Nicobolus, yes, it comes in as a dragon, but it's only got one of each mana colour in its casting cost, so it gets around the restriction for Jickathantha. Obscura Interceptor was quite a nice way of getting a little bit of counter magic in. The flash and the lifelink help. We've got Omnath, Locus of Creation, because, you know, if we're going to play Omnath, we might as well play its 3 colour versions as well. So the version of Creation's in, and also the rolls in as well. Not that the rolls can do anything. There's not that many elementals apart from, all 3 of them. But at the end of the day, if you're going to play this one, you've really got to play the other 2. Sinead, Sleeper Scourge is in, because a lot of our creatures are legendary, so it gives them menace, and then we get a bit of card draw and life loss when we play a legendary one. Thalia and the Gitrod monsters also in from the new set for March. Death Strike, First Strike and Death Touch. And whenever you may play an additional land on each of your turns, which is great. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control in the battlefield tap. Fantastic. And whenever you attack, you sacrifice a creature or land to draw a card. Not so good, but we have got quite a lot of lands in this deck for a change for one of mine. So, but the reason we have a lot of lands is really Borobos and Fliplit. I don't like the artwork this is picked up. I should have made sure it's set. But anyway, when it enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. Then you may discard any number of land cards. When you discard one or more land cards this way, Boromos and Fliplit deals twice that much damage to target creature. Thank you very much. Gives us a little bit removal for the extra lands we may have in our hand. And then you can pay 1 and a blue and put it on top of your owner's lot. Put it in 3rd from top in your library. This gives you a way of saving this creature against wrath effects, so on and so forth. So pretty cool from my point of view. Chillane, Teller of Tales. We've all seen this before. This is one of the CEDH commanders that's kicking around. I figured it'd be a bit of fun in here. Again, it's got 3 mana in it, so it's only going to cost you 2, hopefully. Vizgarus, the Doom Hive, is in as well. I thought we might as well have a little bit more of the Phyrexian side of things in to keep it going. Xeris, the Writhing Storm, gives us a bit of card draw, gives us some blockers, fine. Zedress, the Traitor King. Haven't played Zedress for a while. I'm not sure it should be in the deck, but, given all our creatures on Earth, it's not the end of the world. So, helps. Urza, Chief Artificer's in as well. Gives us some, we haven't got any creature artifacts, but it's only going to hopefully cost us 3 to cast when we get there. And artifact creatures you control have menace. At the beginning of your end step, create a 0/0 colours construct artifact creature with this creature gets +1/+1 for each each artifact you control. Now we do have quite a few artifacts in the deck, so we could have some big golem constructs coming out, but it's just because it's 3 colours and it's going to hopefully cost us 3. Unlike this one, I had to play a Traxxer. I was trying to keep it down to just having creatures in the deck that only had 3 coloured mana symbols in their mana cost, but it's a Traxxer. It's one of the cards you can drop out. I mean, this version I've got here at the moment is sitting around about 70 tickets on MTGO. If you drop that out, you're halving the cost of this deck on MTGO quite significantly, so bear that in mind. But I've chucked it in. Okay, we'll only get 3 of the mana, but hopefully we'll have another 4 kicking around to cast what's left of her when we draw her out, so bear in mind. Blood Tyrant is probably something you haven't seen for a while. Has the same thing, costs us 4 mana at the end, but it has flying and trample, and at the beginning of your upkeep each player loses a life, and you put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Tyrant for each life lost this way. So basically, if you can keep it in play until your next turn, you've still got 3 opponents, you'll lose 1, and this will become a 9/9 fly with trample. Pretty good, pretty dangerous in the air very quickly. And then finally, Enigma Sphinx. Let's try that. This I put in because it's obviously insane. It's got the mana we need, 3 mana, so it means it costs us 4, hopefully, overall to cast. But it's also got Cascade, and I figured having Cascade to hit something useful could be pretty good in this deck. Right, only a few Planeswalkers in, because most of the Planeswalkers are 1 colour, 2 colour, or they don't meet Jickathantha's restriction. So we've got Amatu the Fate Shifter. Draw a card and then put a card from your hand on top of your library. Exile a permanent your own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. It's a nice way to get Urza or a Traxxer coming in and out if you've got other or even Nico Bolas, just get the extra discard. That's fine. Then Dakon's Shadow Slayers here. loyalty counters equal number of lands you control, which is always going to be maybe 1 at least. So, but yeah, the +1's not bad. You get to cycle through your deck quite quickly. And then Sarkhan the Unbroken, just for the mana and the card draw. Now we get to the big crux of the deck. I have put I've probably gone overboard on this. Now, I did start this deck, I'll be honest, with the ultimatums in it. And then I realised that doesn't work with Jacantha because they've all got, 2, 3 and 2 as the mana cost for all of them. So I had to have a rethink. And I came up with using the charms. Now, I've not got all the charms in here. I do own all the charms, but they're not all in this deck. But, it is fun having them because if you draw one and you've got Omnath in play, you get to play it free there and then, which can help in some situations. But anyway, got a couple of just keep the board clean spells. We've got Cyclonic Rift here and Blasphemous Act. One of the few monocolored, well, I think it's the only, apart from there's 3 monocolored cards and a Search for Tomorrow. So I figured I've got one of each basic land in the deck, and I want to make sure that I could hit all 5 of my colours as quickly as possible. So this is the idea. This is going to hopefully go and get me the one I'm missing at some stage. But the rest of it is basically the charms. So we've got Abzan Charm, we've got Bant Charm, Broker's Charm, Cabaretti Charm, Crosses' Charm, Darazag's Charm, Droma's Charm, the Esper Charm, the Grixis Charm, Jeskai Charm, Jun Charm, Maestro Charm, Mardu Charm, Obscura Charm, Trevor's Charm. And they all do something slightly different, but I think they all have an effect in the game. And even if it is just, like Maestro's Charm here, 3 drain someone for 3, gain 3. But they all have side effects, which are quite nice, Obviously, the Esper Charm, destroy an enchantment, draw 2 cards, target player discards 2 cards, gain 5 life from Drome, or give something -2/-2, or counter a target spell. Notice it's counter any type of spell, so a little bit of flexibility. I'd just play the charms you're interested in. I just played these because these are the ones that I just thought would be fun for this deck, but there's enough different ones out there. Artifact wise, so we'll start with the lamp. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and the main ones. And then I just scattered in a few of the talismans just to give me a bit more of the mana I needed. Now, you can choose and pick. I may not have picked all the right ones here, but I decided to go with these 6. Obviously, there's a whole different selection of them. They're all fairly dirt cheap on MTGO, so you should be able to pick them up and put them in. But at the end of the day, it's worth just choosing the ones you want. I did notice just now that this version of Soul Ring's gone down considerably. So if you haven't got Soul Ring yet on MTGO, you might want to go and pick that version up. Anyway, enchantments. I just went with the Ascendancies, to be honest. Abzan seemed like a good one. Pump all our creatures as it comes in and then get some spirits when they die. Brokers pumps everything, including our Planeswalkers, which is lovely. Cabaretti gives us a bit of manipulation at the top of our library. Obscura hopefully lets us cast, when we cast things that are more powerful, get some tokens as well to act as block, and hopefully get the spirits really big when that happens. And Tamir Ascendancy, just for the whole haste thing. A lot of our creatures, we've got quite a few creatures with power 4 or more. He says trying to find some. Okay, maybe he didn't pick them up properly. But the extra bit of card draws help, but it's the haste we're really interested in. The rest of the deck is 39 lands. Now, this may seem a bit excessive for one of my decks, but I figured that with all the different colours we've got, we needed to make sure we could hit those colours as soon as possible. So we have got one of each of the triomes in the deck, all the cycling lands that have been coming through recently. I went with some of the quick lands and command tower. The usual things are here: Exotic Orchard, Fabled Passage, Field of the Dead you expect to see from me. One of each of the basics, as I said earlier. Some of the check lands, if you want to call them that, comes into play untapped, but with all the triomes you should be able to get them to come into play. One thing I will point out is I've included Plaza of Heroes, because a lot of the creatures we have are legendary, so we might as well have this in as well, just to help us smooth the mana out a little bit more. And that's it really. Notice there's 101 cards total. That is purely because, as you can see up here from the description, it's not legally commandment moment because these cards aren't available, but you get 101 because of Jicantha. companion. It does increase the card limit size in your deck because it basically sits in a special version of the Exile Zone in my mind. So that's it. That is my take on Omnath, Locus of all. Hope you've enjoyed the video today. If you think I've missed something or you think I should have built it in a different way, let me know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate that. I am trying to get some more videos out this week. I know there's a link to my stream down below as well. There won't be a stream by the time you're watching this because I'll actually be on holiday for a week, so that's why there's videos coming out. But I'll be back very soon to do some more streaming, and we'll take everything from there as things go forward. So, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Help me get past my 156 that I'm stuck on at the moment. If, as I record this, it may be more than this by the time you watch this video, but if it is, help me get a little bit higher. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. See you soon. Bye.